Best ball drafts are underway right now, and I got some running backs you do not want to forget about once the draft is underway. So their ADPs are low right now, so you want to jump on some of that value to cash in when the season starts. Some of these guys' ADP may remain low once we get closer to summertime and redraft formats take over. Ladies and gentlemen, Jaylen Warren should be your draft day target at RB26 right now. I do see this climbing a little bit closer to the summertime, but you want to jump on that value right now. Jaylen Warren was definitely the more efficient running back out of that backfield between him and Najee Harris. They did eat it off each other's plates because both averaging 11 fantasy points per game last season. But I think Jaylen Warren has an edge this season because with Arthur Smith as the offensive coordinator, back-to-back seasons, nobody ran outside the tackles more than the Falcons did. And that's kind of what Arthur Smith's system is based on, of running outside the tackles. And that's where Jaylen Warren was very successful last season when the Steelers did decide to run outside the tackles, run outside instead of in between the tackles, where Najee Harris really excelled at in the areas that he actually was able to excel in, because running outside was not his bag. He ran 3.9 yards per carry compared to Jaylen Warren with a 5.4 yards per carry when running outside, with the fourth highest rushing yards over expected. And this is among the elites of running backs, people. So Jaylen Warren does bring some explosiveness to the table. And with PPR upside, he saw the fifth most targets out of the running backs last season, which is among the elites, CMC, Alvin Kamara, et cetera, et cetera. So with that on the table, Jaylen Warren's definitely a running back you want to target in those drafts. Hey, all aboard the Gus bus. Gus Edwards is being named as the bell cow for the Chargers, where the Chargers are basically spieling out that he is the workhorse, and I kind of believe it, man. Dude put up 13 touchdowns last season. He is very good on the goal line. He's a guy that has some type of explosiveness. He just does not have that breakaway speed. If you want him to catch passes, I guess he will catch passes, but it's obvious that the Chargers want to run the ball, which is ground and pound, and nobody in this draft right now is very, I would say, worrisome of Gus Edwards' volume and basically his production, because this isn't a running back class that I find that is scary enough that are going to be able to step in and take over Gus Edwards' job. I'm not too sure the Chargers are in business for a running back like that anyway. I think they're going to ride Gus Edwards on the cheap train, because they could have went out and got a guy in free agency, but they did not. They settled on Gus Edwards as their bell cow. So therefore, I am all in on RB38 right now. That is in the range of a RB3, RB4, maybe even an RB5. A lot of people right now are saying Gus Edwards, it's kind of like a fake, it's media talk, coach talk, whatever the case may be. They're going to bring in another guy, but I think that the Chargers are going to believe in Gus Edwards as their workhorse. So give me a workhorse later in those drafts. Now, right behind Gus Edwards in ADP at RB39 is Chuba Hubbard, who low-key came out as a fantasy winner here, as a free agent winner, what I meant to say, being that they didn't go out and get a big-name running back, and that might have a lot involved with that. They have an ugly contract behind Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders, so therefore he wasn't a moving piece during free agency. So it looks like Dave Canales, as the offensive coordinator now for the Panthers, is going to go into the season with Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders as his 1-2 punch, where I see Chuba honestly being the more better efficient back in this system. They added to that O-line, getting the guy, one of two people that they got from the Miami Dolphins in free agency, is a guard that basically is very, very good at pass protection and run blocking. The other guy they got from the Seahawks, Lewis, he is not that graded high in PFF rankings when it comes to run blocking and pass blocking, but they are showing indication that they want to protect Bryce Young, that they want to help this O-line move forward, and that's exactly where they need to go with the running game. In the draft, they have some picks where they can get some guys on the O-line, so this is a building project here for Chuba Hubbard, but being that he is a guy that's getting over 250 plus touches, because he finished 11th among running backs when it came to number of touches. Dave Canales rode Rachaad White last season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where he was second in the NFL among the running backs in touches. Not saying Chuba Hubbard might see 300 touches, but I'm not ruling it out either, being that Chuba Hubbard was the more explosive, more effective running back in that system last season out of that backfield, even though the O-line was piss poor and he made the best of his situation. So I'm going to be targeting a guy like that who has some talent, who's hungry, who's able to have some explosive plays. He had 24 last season. He's a guy that I will look for in those later drafts if you're looking for a reliable RB3, RB4, or even RB5 in those drafts. Now in the deep depths of those ADPs where you have Deontay Foreman as a guy that I'll be targeting who could see some early touches, being that Jerome Ford last season took over as the featured back, but obviously he was not getting the job done for the Browns to go out and call Kareem Hunt. Nick Chubb with that gruesome injury, I think he will be back, not 100% to start the season, but if anybody's going to come back in September and be ready for week 1, I wouldn't rule Nick Chubb out, but Deontay Foreman's a guy that's just been hungry since 2021, 8 100 rushing yard games. That's more than some of your notable running backs like Joe Mixon, Saquon Barkley, Dalvin Cook, when he was still Dalvin Cook. The names go on. This dude is a guy that you put into a system. He fits the Brown scheme. He fits with the type of running back that they need. He'll really be stepping in as the Kareem Hunt here because I don't think Kareem Hunt will get the call back. But Deontay Foreman has been able to take advantage of all opportunities he's ever been given since 2021 with the Titans. Didn't see much of him with the Bears because the Bears, they just didn't know what they were doing at running back, but whatever. But Deontay Foreman has proof in the pudding that he is a workhorse. He's a short yardage type running back. You could utilize him on the goal line as well. He'll find his way into the end zone, and that means good numbers when you get a guy like Deontay Foreman, hopefully on this elevated Browns offense to get more scoring opportunities that I would love at RB70 to where he's having games where he's having 10 to 15 points as a guy that's splitting the backfield with a Jerome Ford and maybe when Nick Chubb come back healthy as well. So those are a few running backs you should be targeting late in those drafts that I think could be huge contributors to your teams on a week-to-week basis, especially in redraft and in best ball, whatever the case may be in formats. But I definitely think these guys should be able to be on your draft list and have them on your watch list, have them on your radar when it comes to draft day in those summertime leagues and redraft as well, because these guys can be huge contributors. So wait for part 2 because I got a few more guys that I think you should be targeting in those best ball leagues, and make sure you guys like and subscribe to the RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. And make sure you guys follow me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms. Until next time.